Hi students, good morning to one and all. Previous classes we will detailed discuss about the characteristics in pteridophytes, includes habitat or occurrence and thallus organization or plant body organization as well as reproduction. That is mainly two types of reproductions. One is asexual reproduction and second one is sexual reproduction, and also discussed about the types of stils. That is four types of stils are appeared in pteridophyte stems as been internally. That is protostele, siphonostele, solenostele and dictyostele. So dear students, now we are going to discuss about the another pteridophyte species, that is fern plants. That is fern plants. Dear students, in ferns like Triopteris, the stem is an underground rhizome. This is a Triopteris or one type of fern plant. The stem is always grown in underground, that is underground stem. So this underground stem is always grown horizontally. This underground stem is always grown horizontally. That is rhizome. That is rhizome. So this underground stem of rhizome consisting of nodes and internodes. At the same time, to be produced advances roots, and to be produced advances roots. So this is a underground stem. Okay, now in ferns like Triopteris, the stem is an underground rhizome. Generally in higher plants, the stem is grown aerially. That is aerial stem. But here in ferns like, that is Triopteris, the stem is generally grown in underground or generally grown in underground for the soil, and this stem is always grown horizontally and containing consist of nodes and internodes, and these nodes to be produced several advances roots, and aerially to be produced certain types of leaves. Okay, now next coming to the large aerial leaves, generally pinnately compounds are called fronds. So these are the large aerial leaves are generally pinnately compounds, that is called fronds. Okay, now the large aerial leaves, these are the large aerial leaves, but stem is underground, but leaves is always exposed to air. Leaves is always exposed to air, that is aerial, but stem is not exposed to air, is always grown underground for the soil. So here the large aerial leaves generally pinnately compound. These pinnately compound of leaves are named as fronds. In fern plants, to be appeared fronds leaves, and the young leaf shows circinate vernation. By means coiling from base to the tip. That is circinate vernation. These are young leaves, but these are mature leaves. Okay, here, but this is young leaves. In young leaves or early leaves are always shows circinate vernation. By means, so the coiled, the leaves is generally to be appearance coiled like structure. So coiled from the tips to the base, coiled from tip to the base, coiled from tip to the base, that is called the cincinnate vernation, only shown in young leaves. In all pen plants, especially young leaves shows cincinnate vernation by means coiled from base to the tip, coiled from base to the tip, that is called cincinnate vernation. Next coming to the petiole are covered with brown multicellular hairs, that is called ramenta. So this is a petiole. So this petiole is always covered brown in color, and also internally to be having a multiciliate, that is called ramenta, that is called ramenta. Okay now, so this is a petiole. This petiole is covered by brown and multicellular hairs, brown, coloring brown, and internally to be having more than 2 cells, and to be appeared small hair-like structures, that is called ramenta. In pen plants of petiole are having two brown and multicellular hairs, that is called ramenta. So this is also cincinnate vernation, this is also ramenta, this is also rhizome. Okay now, the stem is underground rhizome. Okay now, leaves are larger size of the leaves, that is fronds, pinnate-like compound, and end leaves shows cincinnate vernation, and these leaves of petiole to be having brown and multicellular hairs, that is called ramenta. These are the very important character features in fern plants. Next coming to the leaflet shows open dichotomous. Internally the leaflet shows open dichotomous. The leaflet shows open dichotomous. Next one is here, the sporangia are found on the ventral or lower surface of the leaves. In those of those sporangias are in groups, these are called sori. These are called sori. This is a sori. Okay now. So in pteridophytes, especially fern plants, the sporangias are developed from the ventral or lower surface of the leaves. These are arranged in groups, that is called sori or sorus. That is called sori or sorus. This is a sori. This is one of the sori or one of the sorus. Okay now, the sporangia are found on the ventral or lower surface of leaves in groups. These are called sori. These are called sori or sorus. So next coming to, each sorus is covered by membrane sheet of its own, that is called true indicium. So this is a sori or sorus. Each sori or each sorus is covered by one membranous sheath. One membranous sheath, that is called true indicium. That is called true indicium. So this is a sori or sorus. This sorus or sori covered by one membranous sheath, that is true indicium. And each sori containing sporangias. Each sori containing sporangias. This is one sporangia, this is one sporangia. And sporangia is also containing spores or sporangial mother cells. Sporangial mother cells. Next coming to, so the anthrozoids in plants are generally spirally coiled and multiciliate. So the sorus or sori are having two microsporophylls and megasporophylls. So the microsporophylls to be produced several anthrozoids. So by means the male sex organ, that is antheridium, the female sex organ, that is archegonium. So antheridia to be produced spirally coiled and multiciliate anthrozoids. This is a spirally coiled and also multiciliate. Number of cilias. This is a one anthrozoids. Multiciliate, spirally coiled, multiciliate. Okay, the anthrozoids in fins are generally spirally coiled and multiciliate. Next, will be Tevis. The sorus so is protected by the reflection margin of the fertile leaflet. Reflection margin of the fertile leaflet, that is called false indicium. That is called false indicium. True indicium are to be appeared in ferns like Bracteris. False indicium are to be appeared in ferns like Pteris. In ferns like Pteris. What is the differences between true indicium and false indicium? Okay, now generally the sporangia are developed from the lower and upper surface of the leaves. Upper surface of the leaves. So these sporangias are arranged in their groups, that is called sori. So each sori or each sorus is covered by one membranous sheath of its own, that is called true indicium. But false indicium, the sorus is protected by one reflexed margin of the fertile leaflet, that is called false indicium. That is called false indicium. Anyhow, true indicium and false indicium are to be containing sporangias as well as spores. Okay, now next coming to classification in pteridophytes. The pteridophytes are further divided into 4 classes. They are namely first class Psilopsida, second class Lycopsida, third class Cynopsida, fourth class Pteropsida. Dear students, don't confuse are here Pteridophyta, but spelling are here Pteridophytes. Pteridophytes. So P is silent. P is silent. Pteridophytes. T before the P. P is silent. That is pteridophytes. Pteridophytes. So first beginning word P. P is silent. And at the same Psilopsida. P is silent. Pteropsida. P is silent. Tevis. P is silent. P is silent. Okay, now don't confuse here. Pteridophytes. Pteridophytes. But P is silent. And Tevis. P is silent. Psilopsida. P is silent word. Pteropsida. P is silent word. Okay, now. So Psilopsida given the example for here Psilotum. So as so P is silent. Lycopsida given the examples are here Lycopodium and Salacinella. Spinopsida given the examples for here Equisetum. And Pteropsida given the examples are here Dryopteris, Tevis, Adiantum. So these 3 species are commonly known as ferns. Okay, now Psilopsida given the examples for here Psilotum. Lycopsida given the examples for here Lycopodium and Salacinella. So Lycopodium and Salacinella are also commonly known as club mosses. Third Spinopsida given the examples for here Equisetum are also commonly known as ostids. Fourth one Pteropsida given the examples are here Dryopteris, Tevis and Adiantum are commonly known as ferns. So this is about the characteristics in ferns and classification in pteridophytes. Okay, now thank you.